Boyfriend. Hello, how are you today? Have a seat. Thank you. Hey, as we know from previous, hey, I'm Kyrah. I'm a family social worker here at Health Total. And okay, I'll let you know before we talk about anything, confidentiality is a must. Everything stays private and confidential. But I would have to let somebody know if I feel that you are trying to harm yourself, others, or kids. Is that okay? Okay. Okay, so how's your hip today? It's a little, being that I sleep in the little room in the back, it kind of hurts some more when I get up and feel a little stiff, but I'm making it. Okay, from a scale 1 to 10, what do you think the rate of your pain is? About a 6. Maybe a 6. About a 6? Okay. Have you been going to the hospital lately? Well, most times it's hard for me to catch a ride there, so a few appointments I have canceled because I'm not able to drive, and they be on the go all the time. So maybe 2 or 3 appointments I've canceled because I have to wait there. Like, how's your bladder? Well, I would say it's better than what it was, but I still go quite often. I know that your daughter's son is helping. Are they still arguing from? I know from my last visit. My last visit, they were arguing a little, and I know you said that you were irritable about it and it's bothering you. And sometimes I think maybe in my reason, like why are they arguing because I'm here? Do they act like this because are they irritable? Yeah. It's probably, I'm pretty sure it's not that. It's just they're trying to help you, and it's also stressful working and coming home. But I don't think anything's the matter. Okay, so from our previous counseling, I have talked to you. I wrote your genogram. I know you said you didn't know your paternal side, but you know your maternal side. So I wrote it out of what you told me. You said your grandparents. So tell me about your grandparents. Well, my grandparents, I'm not sure. My grandfather passed a long time ago, but my grandmother was Susan, a very humble lady. She still making it. Very active. What was her name? Susan. Susan. Okay. And yes, she's very humble. She likes helping people. The stuff that grandmother does, help take care of grandchildren, her great grandchildren. She is always there and still full of life. Okay. Does she have any illness, alcoholism, or anything that I should know and that can help me figure out what is going on? The only thing she used to be a diabetic. Okay, they had to amputate one of her legs a little bit, and yeah. Okay. So you said Susan is a diabetic, and your grandfather passed away. Okay. So could you tell me about your mother's brothers and sisters? Well, my mother's sister, her name is I'm sorry, her name is Brenda. And she has one brother, his name's Tom. We call him Tommy. And they both have children and great grandchildren as well. So any illness or anything wrong with us? No, but Tommy, he's an alcoholic. And Tommy's alcoholic. And your grandmother before that, Susie, she is diabetic, right? Okay. Anybody else, like your mother, she's a diabetic or anything? No, but Tommy's grandson, he's 7 years old and he has ADHD. Like he performs well in school, he does his work, but it's hard for him, to keep focused and to be mindful, like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. He's just, I don't know, because maybe he's developing as a child, he sees like other people's behavior and has to interfere with them, maybe that can be the cause. And I remember you saying that your father passed away, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, how long ago was that? Let's see, 4 years. 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Was anything, what caused his death, might I ask? This is a heart attack. Okay, so I'm going to recap of what you told me. Your grandmother, Susie, she was a diabetic, and Uncle Thomas, he was an alcoholic, and your dad died of a heart attack. About your mother, anything that I need to know? Yeah, like I said, she's a very humble lady. I'm still in
it helps. Still moves around like she's 40 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. Move around better than I did.
How often is she still alive? Okay. How often do you guys talk?
I try to go see her. Well, now that I have my hip fracture, I used to try to go see her about maybe once or twice a week because she still lives by herself, which I think is great. And she calls me frequently to see how I'm doing, but she can't actually come over most of the time because I live in arrangements or she doesn't drive, so she has to find a way, and then I can't leave sometimes because I'm in so much pain. So I don't see her as much as I would like to see her.
Is your pain bothering you right now?
No.
Okay. Just make sure. Okay. So tell me about, you said your mother had you said she had 3 kids, yourself, your sister Mildred, and your brother TJ that passed, right? Okay, so do you know what caused TJ's death?
No.
Any illness or anything?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so your sister that stays down the street, tell me a little bit about her.
Brenda, she stays in the house with us sometimes, but we have to share our room. She'll, sleep with me because I'm her sister or whatnot. But her husband, he's a domestic violence person who drinks a lot. I mean, at this age, you would think that people change their habits, but it seems like his habits are getting worse. And she's in a negative situation, like most of the time she has to stay with us at nighttime. She'll come over in the middle of the night. And I think at her age, because she's older, it's just time for her to let it go.
And how do you feel about the domestic violence of?
Well, I think because looking at my sister's point of view, I think she has to let go now before it gets too late.
That she deserves better. Of course. Okay. Have you sat down and talked with her about?
I try to, love all these people.
Right. Any could you tell me anything wrong with her? Any illness or anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, and this brings me down to your daughter that you stays with, and your 2 daughters that stays out of state. Okay. And did you have any other children that I should bring?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So your daughters that stays out of state, tell me a little bit about them.
Well, Alyssa and Katie, one live across the country in California. I don't know why she went that far. And the other one just lives in South Carolina. And I don't see the one in California that all the way for like holidays. It's in a week. She tries to send like postcards, like pictures of the family and her children. But Alyssa lives in South Carolina. I see her most holidays. Or sometimes she'll just pop up. But now that I live with my daughter, it's hard for her to come over because sometimes they don't get along. They don't pay us still because they're sisters.
When they all were children growing up, how were their relationship with each other?
You couldn't break them apart.
Do you think the distance have pushed them away from the arguments
I think the distance has pushed them apart
and relationship with her?
Yeah,
Their husband.
they're married and they have children, so it's like they have their own separate life. So they don't come into interaction with each other.
So about your daughter that you stay with, she doesn't have kids and she's married. She has a husband, right? And what is her husband's name?
His name is Jimmy.
Do your kids have any illness or anything that I should know about?
No.
And so when you and your daughter were growing up, how was your relationship?
Growing up, I would say that I was always there because I had to work, because I had 3 girls, and I would work like maybe 2 or 3 jobs, just make ends meet. But I always provided for them, and I would give them the world. I had to provide the essentials of what they need. Then, like if they wanted to go out, I could try to, scrape up a few dollars, just like mothers do, because you don't want to tell your children no all the time. So I think because they saw me struggle and they accepted it, like it brought us closer together, like we used to have a lot of time. Like, we're going to the trail, we're going to the park when we're younger. Like we may catch a movie, a free movie that's in the field or something.
Okay. So I wrote down your Gmail brand. If you want to examine it, you can let me know, and I'll give you maybe a minute to write anything else.
Okay.
If I missed something.
Okay, and Mildred's husband, TJ, I kind of see them maybe had this all mixed together, like where the family history comes from, maybe the heart attack, my dad being a diabetic and dying from that. I kind of see where like some behaviors are starting to affect family members, not just
Like you said, that child, the child, I guess you said James. As you said James, right? You said his child was ADHD, right? So I can see that can play a major role by his father having it too, and him being alcoholic. So I understand where you're coming from with that.
and yeah, this looks about right.
Okay. I'm just gonna put this in your file, okay? So, did you need a pen back? I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna do assessment tool on you, is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you this paper.
Okay.
It's basically a description of how you feel about your life.
Okay.
And 1 being rarely or none, and 5 being most of the time.
Okay.
And okay, I feel powerless to do anything about my life.
2.
Why do you give yourself a 2?
Because I don't think that I'm powerless. I think I'm powerful. Like, my situation, I still try to, carry on, maintain. I'm not going to be mopey around all the time.
You're not going to dread.
Yeah, I'm not going to dread. I'm just going to look for the best, and, try to get a good outcome.
Because we're working on it, and you have made a dramatically improvement from the last time I seen you when you was not trying to move, talking to me, and now you're actually engaging with me and telling me everything I need to know. So I feel that. Yeah. So I am restless and I can't keep still.
I would say 1 because I feel like I'm moving around now. I don't have to walk with my walker anymore. I can start crossing my leg, but I always have to keep the curtain on the bottom. Sometimes I try to change positions, which I can't stand for a long period of time. I can't sit for a long period of time, but I'll make progress.
Right. And I have crying spells.
0. If that's possible.
No.
Sometimes I do cry because I think there's like so much that I'm missing out on, and my living situations, like I feel like I can be in a better place. I'm a call of it sometimes, so I get emotional sometimes. I would say maybe a 2 or 3.
Okay. I do not sleep well at night.
Oh God, 5. Yeah, like sometimes I can't lay down that long, so I have to sit in a chair. They brought me a recliner, so I sit in a recliner and just sit, maybe tilt my head to the left, tip it to the right a little bit, right, so I can just go to sleep.
When things get tough, I feel there's always someone I can turn to.
In this situation, I think it's gonna have to be born again because my husband died, and I don't want to be a burden on my children because they have their own life, and I don't really go out and meet that many people. So I would say maybe 1.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
I feel that I am needed.
No, 1. I feel like my children can carry on.
You shouldn't feel like that because.
But it makes me proud because I can see like I talk them well, like they can carry on and maintain. And,
I enjoy being active and busy.
Yes, when I can.
Okay.
Sometimes maybe a girlfriend come over, or like one of my friends, or we'll visit a senior citizen, we can go on, big fun stuff like VFW, maybe go watch a movie or something, like senior citizens.
Right.
Like some restaurants have like specials and stuff.
And what did you rate that?
I would say 4.
4. Okay. I am irritable.
I'm not sure if I can answer that question. Could you explain it a little bit?
Yes, I am irritable. Like you're irritated. I'm not gonna say what I would say, but from the information you have gave me, I would say that you're always irritable because you say your daughter and her son fusses when you're in the house, and it brings stress to you.
Yes.
So, meaning, do you agree with it or do you disagree?
I agree.
So you give yourself a what?
3 because it's not all the time.
Okay. I get easily upset.
would say upset, but I get frustrated sometimes and let down. But I'll keep trying.
Okay, so
Like if I'm home alone and I need to get something and I can't reach it, and I maybe sitting in a chair or I can't move, but sometimes I feel like I want to get up and get this.
Right.
But I know I'm not capable sometimes of standing up. It's going to take a little time.
okay.
So I get frustrated.
So what number was that?
About a 3.
It is hard for me to have a good time.
Yes. 5.
And why do you give yourself a 5?
Because I can't maneuver as much and I can't go many places. Sometimes I always have to have people with me because I may fall because my hip may give out, and I just think like it limits me to a lot of stuff.
Okay. So, I feel that people really care about you.
I would say 2. Because I feel like they're my children, and my son-in-law and my daughter that I'm living with in the back, they're trying to push me out the house, they commit to live in home. And that's not really what I want to do because, I feel like I can still do for myself. I can be on my own and be with less financial problems added to their problems.
Okay, and I feel great in the morning.
2. Some mornings I just wake up and I'm like, I can't make it, like I want to give up.
And what makes you want to give up?
It's my inability to provide for myself. Sometimes do for myself. I always having to depend on some other people. And I feel like I have to take time away from them. But at the same time, I see that I have put so much time into their life, when they were younger, and I provide for them. So I don't want to say they have to provide for me, but like for instance, if I'm taking care of you when you're younger, like I feel like you have to take care of me, but I don't want to feel like it's mandatory to take care of me because you have your own life to live.
And my last question.
Okay.
I feel that my situation is hopeless.
No, because where there's a way, there's a will.
That's right. You have this serious. Okay, so I did a little assessment and I will evaluate this too. So I want to break down. Okay, so you say that you have a sister that stays down the street. How often do you guys talk?
I try to talk to her every day because, her sister, she's been, everybody else off of that can happen. So most days she still just come up, come up in the middle of the night. Sometimes she wants to talk, sometimes she needs to stay and I will just open the door, let her in and be there for her.
Okay, and your daughters, you said that your daughters they had a great bond.
Yeah, that's
and
maybe.
And how is their relationship with the daughter that you stay with now?
Well, they feel like they applaud her because they so far away and she's taking me in. So they try to do what they can when they're able to. But their relationship with her isn't the best because they have their own family and split up a little bit. But I would have to say they're typical sisters.
Okay. So as you've seen that the relationship of your girls were decreasing and they were lacking communication, how did you feel about it?
As a mother, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe my daughters are separated like this. But then, looking at it from a different point of view, I'm saying they're progressing, they're starting their own life, it makes me proud.
Okay. And do you think that we can improve this relationship? You think we can?
I think we can work on it. It's going to be hard because, like I said before, it's travel arrangements, it's financial habits come into play when you have to come from California up here to New York, New Jersey, just to visit your mother, and it's hard.
So, and so you said you're paying $40 a month to stay with your daughter.
Sometimes I'm not able to pay for it, but I'm living with them, so I have assistance with food support and stuff. So I'll try to give them a few groceries, for interchangeably if I don't have the cash or able to provide the full amount of $40.
Okay, so I'm gonna begin. So you said your daughter works at the cafeteria, and her husband is a supervisor where?
He's a supervisor at his company.
Okay. And what is that called?
Well, he works at an industrial plant, a local industrial plant. I think it's some kind of power plant or something. I'm not sure.
Okay, so is it possible? Do you think it would be possible if we could get Mr. Boykins, Miss Boykins, for yourself, your daughter and her husband to come in?
Looks like he got a busy schedule. Like he works daily during like the nighttime, like she works during the day. It'd be hard to, but I can give you their information so
Okay,
you
yes.
can arrange it for them.
Okay.
My daughter's cell phone number is 280-397-0000. I'm sorry, and her name is going to be Susan.
Yeah, I remember that. So you said student number was 280-397-0000.
Yeah.
And what is TJ's name? Number?
His number is going to be 519-239-0001.
519-239-0001. Okay, what would be a great day?
Most likely going like maybe a Saturday, because she's not going to be at school in the cafeteria, so she'll be there during the day.
Okay, on Saturday.
And you can try to catch her early in the morning any day.
But before, because time is getting close, is there any goals that you would like to improve in?
I want to see if I can seek help, as soon as possible, like rehab, to try to like help me start, developing and my walking habits again. So also once I get like stable, to try to find like maybe a one-bedroom apartment, like a senior center complex,
So,
that can help me like provide living and maintain the outside, but I have to take care of the inside.
in our previous conversation, you told me that you had rehabilitation already. So when you say you want more rehabilitation, what do you mean? Because you told me you transferred from a wheelchair to a toilet and a wheelchair to the bed. So what else?
I just want to start walking on myself some days, because some days when it's cold and stuff, I have to take a cane or walk with my walker. I want to like just do it with all of that, walk regularly.
And you want to walk on your own. That's what I put. Give me 3 main goals that you would like to accomplish within the next month. Walking on your own.
Walking on my own, finding somewhere, a place to live, for myself. And, just like helping my daughter and her husband build their relationship back up.
Okay. So in our next meeting, we will talk about. Everything with the arguing in the house and the stress that is bringing. Is that okay? What is the next availability?
Can we shoot for Thursday?
The Thursday after next?
Yes.
So I'm going to call your daughter Saturday. I'm going to call Mr. TJ early in the morning.
Okay.
So next Thursday at what time?
Maybe about 4.
4. Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure working you.
Okay.
It's always nice to see you walk. It's always nice to see you in here smiling, even though I know everything that you're going through is not hard. But I'm here to help and improve everything. So let's just let you know that it's always nice to see you.
Okay. Yeah, I can stretch my leg up a little bit.
Thank you. You're welcome.